But anyhow, we are going to rock on in and we're going to say hello and see what we are dealing with. So first things first, we shall just as is usual swap up our players and sections there. Have a quick look at the reclaim on the map, and while there is 24,000 to have, it's all over the place. There's no particularly giant spots, just rocks kind of everywhere. A couple of bigger ones here dotted here and there, but overall not really anything to be too concerned about. Anyway, we have team 1 up here at the top right, we have team 2 down here at the bottom left. So let's go introduce these players, and there are some civilian structures actually sitting around behind things, so if you wanted to you could potentially try and capture or kill these in some form of fashion, but anyway that's something for a different time. Team 1, first off, for Team 1, and also happens to be the highest rated player in the game. This is Explosive. Explosive is in the white color. He is Seraphim. He's got his first factory down and grabs his mixers, and Hydro will undoubtedly be next. Next to Explosive, we move to the lowest rated player in the game, and he is mimicking the highest rated player by going Seraphim, but he has himself in the yellow color, and it is Luca 2512. Alright, third player for team number 1, breaking from the Seraphim faction, it is Yerfdog. And old Yerfdog here has been given the red cutter. He's just finishing off his Hydro as we speak. And finally, for team number 1, over on the far right hand side, and a nice pink color over there, he's also gone UEF, and that is Ratchet. So for team number 1, we have 2 Seraphim and 2 UEF players. We have the highest and lowest rated player on the map. Let's see if that is going to balance out nicely for them. Alrighty, rocking on over to team number 2, and down here on the right hand side, also UEF, it is Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight is already walking his comm off, so he's planning to go somewhere to get some recam, possibly throwing out a couple of scouts to mitigate some watch for those early raids which may come in. Beside Shovel Knight, helping out is the first Cybran of the game, and it is Templar 95. He's working on his second land factory here, getting some adjacency from this mass extractor. Don't know if we'll see any more, but he's gotten the grey colour. And third player for team number 2, it is Triple F. FFF. If that was a colour, it would be white. Hex. Anyway, he's UEF as well, and he's got the blue colour instead. And he is walking his way towards front. Gonna want to get some of this nice juicy reclaim. And there's enough sitting around here to get yourself half a T2 mix. There's plenty to get done all over the place. So we do have a bit of raiding just about to come on in. So I'm just going to pop that down a little bit while we introduce the final player of the game. And it is a Steyr. Now whether that is supposed to be a Steyr, as in the Steyr carbine assault rifle gun thingy. I know there's a Steyr rifle, fully automatic rifle that exists, but whether he's a Steyr or a Steyr, I don't know. Either way, he is UEF and he's walking away. So team 2 consists of 1, 2, 3 UEF players and 1 Cybran, so huge UEF representation on this map. And we're just going to pop the speed back up there, having done our final introductions. And yeah, these guys are all maybe 400 difference between them, when you've got 700 difference between the highest and lowest here. First little fracas is about to go, and the first shot comes out from the striker, though is missing some shots owing to the fact that Tham is moving, and the Tham might actually be able to get, well, he's going to succeed out because the combat scout Celine is around. There's an engineer here that Tham could have gone for, but there's another defending striker coming over, and that should be enough to see Tham off. Does kill off the other striker, but now of course it's just a Celine left behind. 1 tank piece. Bit of damage on this guy, but tiny bit of reclaim to grab, but the engineer over here survives, which is exactly what Steyr wanted. Didn't want to lose that guy because there's no others nearby. Having a look over the side, and I hear a Snoop having a tickle fight with, well, it's going to be pretty pointless trying to tickle fight anything there, because that's a commander. This way we can see we have a cloaked Celine, so just going to get a bit of free intel from that. Now there has been a change a while ago on how the Celines act. When they're cloaked, they have a much shorter radar range. So have a look at that. When it stops and it's cloaked, that radar range there compared to that there, way smaller. So if you weren't aware of that, that happened a while ago, but it has been a decent change according to a number of people. Now down here we can see there has been an engineer picked up by Luca. He's coming with a couple of units, has picked off this poor engineer that was just trying to build a mass extractor. Feel a little bit sorry for him. Over this way we see a similar thing has happened around. There has been an incursion and a dead engineer from explosive ramping down on Steyr. Steyr has run out of defending tanks up here, and we have a good handful of Thams ready to go. They're all damaged, but they are ready to do some work. And we see here Steyr has his comm in the region. He's trying to pick off a Tham which is jaunting over the rocks a bit. That's an interesting pathing. Big pathing indeed, but it got there. And now there's a worrying little band of units here for any kind of pressure that he might push on. Over on the right hand side, or the middle right, we have T2 going down for Yevdog. So he's just wanting to get that up and running before. Got a few units in backup just in case he needs them, but he's really going for that T2. Got some engineers helping out, and that's the first upgrade of the game, and it's going to be an important one to get up and going. Right, so far we have no place for either of these civilian structures in behind these teams. You can see here, what'd you do? Well, I guess if you were Seraphim, you could drop some Zuis and let them do their work against the Wagners, and then send some engineers in and just claim everything. Could be an idea. But anyway, up here we did have a T1 bomber. There it is. It's still loitering around trying to kill off some of these things. Those tanks are trying to hug the hills. It's not going to get them any kind of traction. And it is Steyr walking around with his comm, just being defensive, wants to hold that area and not lose it. We see explosive coming in, so they're going to have a go at each other shortly. Steyr has moved up here with a bunch of tanks, and they are going to pick off an engineer, a scout, and a mass extractor. Good for them, and they're going to distract this force here as well. It's going to give a bit of an advantage to Steyr down here if he decides to take on the comm. T2 is done. But Yevdog works straight away on a triad. T2 was just started for Triple F. He's going to have some problems there. We have a pair of gun upgrades going on down here. Templar and Shovel Knight grabbing gun apiece. And where's... He's right up in front of us. Where's Ratchet? All the way up the front with his comm, and he's just close enough to scoop up some mass and then be on his way. Up here we can see Steyr and Explosive are just standing there trading blow for blow. Question is, who's got the more advantage? Well, if this keeps up, then Explosive is going to kill off all of Steyr's troops, and then he's going to be in trouble because there are a number of tanks sitting over on the sides, and those are ready to come in and start causing problems. Steyr is going to have to bring these units back. He has got a couple of T1 bombers around, which if they drop their bombs on the units would be the better choice, not the commander. Now it's not looking good for these guys. They are still going toe for toe, and they still have bunches of units apiece. There'll be one to try and keep on in the middle. Yevdog still getting up a second point defense now, and that's going to be a kind of a hold for the middle there. Just wants to shoo away the units. Gun is almost done for Templar. Gun just started for Ratchet, and I don't think that's a very wise position to do your gun. You've got one finished gun gone, and another one just about done. They're going to be a downing, but everything's going on over here at the moment. And this is Steyr. He has managed to shoo off Explosive. He's got the units with him, and still with the T1 bombers he could now stop, and yep, he's got all this reclaim he can now grab with his commander, because he owns that little wee mass field. So that is a victory for Steyr over that side. Even though he is lower on health, he has the reclaim to grab. Right in the middle we see T2 is still going up for Triple F, and down here Ratchet has, while being forced to fall back, fortunately for him, neither Shovel Knight or Triple F committed to the chase on the unupgraded commander. Instead, he has had a chance to fall back, and fall back he has, and he has made it out of that potential predicament. Over here we see Templar is well involved. His comm is here cleaning up the units from Yevdog. They look like they were sent over just to try and assist Ratchet to get out of there, and get out of there he has. He doesn't want to stop really. Right, in this direction we see the T2 PD creep is happening for Yevdog. Those point defense are going up, and Triple F is trying to counter with his own, but he's about to have extra problems in the form of these units here, and he's going to want to bring his units up to help. Gun upgrade a piece over here as well again, so that is Steyr with some NG assistance, and we see Explosive getting it as well without any assistance. These guys are committed to the comm fight. We'll have to keep an eye on how that one's going to turn out. Okay, and if is not standing in quite the right place, and he's going to lose that PD. He needs to move his commander slightly this way. Then he could have stood in the words. He could have stood in the way of that gunfight, and we're actually having a bit of fuck the ground as they try to shoot this tank that is just behind this tiny little ridge. And the shots were actually impacting on the ground here up until the tank moves away, and then it dies a horrible death. So there's our standard fuck the ground, or one day any day. And that is the midsection being held by Dog. He is quite comfortable where he is. Gun upgrade on the way for Ratchet. He's got some assistance on there, so that should go fairly quickly. He does have a merry band of units as well. This could be an ill-advised push from Shovel Knight. That gun upgrade is just about done. In fact, that gun upgrade is done, and he is quite far ahead of his units. And we can see now Ratchet has the gun upgrade himself, and that should suggest to Shovel Knight to not loiter. Doesn't want to have too many units over here. Wants to try and keep away a little bit. Push right now would be quite the silly idea. Over this side though, it is Explosive and Steyr, both with the gun upgrade, and they are going for it. T1 bombers coming out from Steyr. That's just helping shed a wee bit more health off Explosive's comm, but Steyr is having problems with ground units. He's got a few of his own, not very many, but that's still going to be a cagey battle between the two. They could tip either way. Just try and keep an eye on that direction at the same time. Back here we can see that Triple F has decided to set up a new little forward base here, just in case anything comes in range. He kind of wants radar though. He's got the... I can't see anything. Radar. See how far they can shoot if they have radar compared to without? That visual line there. Without radar, these are a waste. Gotta have radar. Compare over this side. And there we go, we have radar for Dog, and so these will be able to shoot all the way out here. Absolutely. Radar, intel, important. And this is Explosive pushing up on this side. Interesting decision. He is extended a wee bit, and now he's got some T1 bombers coming on over his head. He has got some defensive units back here, but not much in the way of AA. I take that back. There's some ground AA there. But Steyr is coming in with his commander. Explosive and Steyr, two armies, two gun comms, and here we go. This is going to be a good old battle. Over on the right hand side, just got to keep an eye out as well. Shovel Knight is getting pressured from Luca. He's had to fall back. Ratchet was looking pretty damaged, but lots going on down here, and both comms down into the red. The question is, can either one of them get away? Well, the answer is no. They're still exchanging shots. I think it's going to be mutual. Both these guys far too low. If one dies, they both die. And Steyr decides to turn around and go in a different direction, so no. Explosive might actually get away. It's 100. Oh dear. No! Just. Explosive was literally just on the edge of that comm explosion. I thought he'd got away and that Steyr had managed to get himself caught by all those units, but no. That close. But it is a mutual, and the left hand side is now owned by the rest of the team. It is a ladder game after all, and it is full share as ladder games go. There's a bad Explosive, so close to getting out of there. Maybe a couple of steps more and he would have been safe, but dear oh dear. Oh, so close. Down this way we see the joint forces of Ratchet and Luca have managed to push back Templar and Shovel Knight. Well, Shovel Knight for now. He is getting T2 on his commander, so whether he plans to start up a PD creep in here or if he's just doing it for the extra health, I do not know. But speaking of PD creep, this is Dog, and he has got plenty of T2 PD up this way, and now it looks like he's starting to go branch out to the right, maybe wanting to just deny this area. Right, there were a couple of gunships, so before his demise, was that T2 air from... Actually, who was it from? No, that is actually T2 air from Triple F. So he got a couple of gunships out there. He's got 4 of them actually, and he's got a good wing of aircraft just to be interceptors and keep those gunships alive should he decide to use them on a target. you know, a target that has no anti-air anywhere near it, a target that is out in the open, no flak. You've got T2, but you got no flak. There is some T1 AA back this way, but that will probably take some time to whittle down a large number of gunships, although having said that, there's only 4 of them, and one is basically dead anyway, so yeah, maybe not there. Right, T2 is done for Shovel Knight, and he is doing exactly what UEF does, which is point defense. And here we go, point defense is up, T2 on the way for Ratchet, who's now in range of that T2 PD. Wants to take a couple of steps back, just to be out of range of those, because that is a terrible place to end up. Okay, checking out the rest of the map, and a little bit static. We see there is, let's have a look at the tech while we're here. Just while we've got a wee bit of time, we have T2 Pigeon has gone up for UFDog on the extra base. He does have a T2 HQ, so he could slap out a bunch of Ilshivers if he felt like it. Beside him, Luca has T2 as well. There's a T2 HQ, and Ilshivers are coming out of there. And he is just finishing off T2 power there as well. T2 air for UFDog in his own base, and over this way we have this assist pattern on this one tank. All these guys, I think, are assisting that one tank. But do we have tech? We do. We have T2 there for Ratchet as well, and he's finished off T2 power. So T2 across the board for team number 1. Checking out down on team 2, there we go. We have actually a T3 shift started for Shovel Knight, so he's got T2 jumping through to the T3 stage. T2 factory also going to T3 for Triple F, and there is, sorry, that is T2 somewhere. There we go. T2 land is available for Templar, so everybody's got T2, and there are a couple of moves towards T3 in air and land for Shovel Knight and Triple F. Just to have a double check, is anybody else starting on T3? Not at this stage, sticking with the T2 for now. I imagine they'll want to change that if they realise this was going on. Bit of scouting and they would know, and it'd be a good odd time. But down here on the right hand side, and Shovel Knight is quite firmly entrenched here. He's got himself a bunch of point defense, he's got himself a couple of mobile shields, he's getting a shield on his comm as well. He has T2 land with him as well as a whole bunch of T1 spam. Not much in the way of anti-air though. I'm not really seeing any flak, or even there's one T1 AA over there. Have a look. There's a woeful amount of anti-air. Oh, he's got some interceptors down up behind him. Okay, so he's okay if there was an air sniper attempt. He has got a few MDs here to help out. Take that back. Okay. Over this way, and Ratchet's just he's sort of stuck in here. He spawned here. He's lost this particular bit of ground to his opponent, and he's now working off just these. As he said he can't really do anything with his eco. Well, what you should do then is stop building units. Stop your units and just, there we go, just a eco. Get your eco up. You've got enough units there to hold off. You can pop down a couple of PD, you'll be right. Got a wee bit of reclaim just out in front of your base you could grab with your comm, and yeah, that just get your eco up while you are holding there. Alright, check out what is going on there. Well, T3 air has been completed for Triple F. That is a scary sight for your opponents. T3 land is 80% done for Shovel Knight, so that's not too far off. Yeah. Shift down here for Templar as well, 25% just started out. Checking out up this way, and there is almost T3 land done for UFDog. That's 85% done on there. We have, still just sticking with the T2 for now, is Luca. And T3 airshift for UFDog on this factory as well. And of course we know that Ratchet's a wee bit behind. He said not too much, and he was trying to get T3 mix up. Okay. Over here we see there was a triad popped up, and in an advanced position it's going to have a go at each other though. Maybe there's no radar, it's not shooting back. Interestingly, okay, that will be, this here is a manual high command. So Ratchet has chosen this and told it to shoot the ground about here. And every shot that falls forward further overshoots or hits outside its range. So you can actually do that with some guns, in particular the triads, because they have a body projectile. You can't really do it with the Cerberus turret or the Seraphim turret, because those are direct fire weapons. They sort of like shoot and they hit. You can sort of do it with the AR1 as well, back in overshoot, but yeah, the triads are best at it because they will lob there. And see, okay, so massive pushback here from Ratchet and from Luca, and all these units are pushing on in, and Shovel Knight has to be careful here. I think he's going to want to think about falling back, but that is a lovely overcharge. Takes out 7 units, I think I saw die. Well, good placement, but here comes the air. Stingers are coming in from Triple F, but there's more than enough Interceptors around to take care of those. That air wing was very poorly placed to keep them alive, and they're going to all die. But right now, Shovel Knight is getting absolutely surrounded. He's getting battered now. You can see that Luca has pushed him all the way up, and yeah, he's got some problems. He needs to run like a bitch, because at the moment that's all he can do. Ratchet is over here with his comm. He could start popping up anything he wanted, but at this stage it is Shovel Knight very much under pressure, and he doesn't have much to help out. Just a commander, he's now absolutely surrounded by units. If these all turned around and came straight back in on Shovel Knight, he will have a bad time, and indeed that's what's happened. They have turned back around, and he has now got 2 comms shooting at him. His shield is down. He has a whole bunch of units firing at him. Shovel Knight has some serious issues right now, and he's not getting out of this. He is not getting out of this. Trying to get some overcharges onto some units, but still with 2 commanders on his face. Shovel Knight very far forward, but he got caught out. Down he goes. So Luca and Ratchet have plenty of veterancy between them. They won't be too concerned about this little wee push here. And in fact, they can now consider, or at least Ratchet can consider, establishing a bit more of a front base here. And just have a look at all these wrecks. Massive fight on Ratchet's doorstep has left 10,000 reclaim, 9,000 reclaim, just ready to grab. Shovel Knight says 3 people on me. What the fuck are you guys doing? Here. Fair question. Although he was very, very overextended with his commander. He was trying to PD creep all the way into Ratchet's base. And honest answer, what did he expect to happen? You're this far forward with your comm and you're gradually building PD up. Do you think they're just going to sit back and take it? Is that... I don't know. He can't have expected anything else. Anyway, check things out. T3 Air is very much alive and on the works for Triple F, as is T3 Lands. Actually, that is almost done, so it hasn't quite got T3 Land, but he does down here, thanks to Shovel Knight, who is now deceased, of course. Check out this way, a bunch of T1 bomber spam, and looks like they're just going to be going for eco, but some ASFs do come out from Dog, so he's well into the T3 air game as well. Plenty of protection there. Tech-wise, we are sticking with the T2. There's Luca. Luca needs to rethink that decision. He needs to get his mixes up to T3 and then decide to turn around and grab T3 on that factory. Over this way, we can see T3 has started for Ratchet, and he does have his T3 core mixes up now, trying to get some more power, and more than anything else, he wants to grab some of these mass extractors and get himself looking a bit more healthier. Alright, big push up the left hand side. There is plenty of Titans. They are at the forefront of this push. There's some Ilshivas here, but Titans versus Ilshivas, I'm still going to rate the Titans. They are the T3, and there are more of them against this sorry little band of Ilshis who are actually also heavily damaged. So they've been having problems from some kind, potentially those T1 bombers floating around before. Unsure, but either way, these Ilshivas have had their chance. They are doomed. Down here though, we have a counter push coming on in. Well, there was a counter push, but they have been scared away by a couple of point events. That's not so great. There is T3 on the ground though. Dog has a couple of siege tanks out. Those are going to help tip the balance in his favour against Titans. Titans are reasonable for anti-T1 and T2 unit, but when it comes to the T3 stage, bricks and Percivals and Harbingers, they just fall well flat. Honestly, I think they've been struggling against Loyalists. Not awful, but I mean, fast movement, which is great. They've got the shields for some good regeneration, but overall, they are probably the weakest T3 unit. Toe to toe. Right. Maybe we can move this way and face off against this force. Maybe, maybe not. Let's decided to not move that way and instead fall back and try to take us some eco. There is a final mass extractor there and there which they just cannot reach, going to the direct fire pointing in the wrong directions. Alright, we hear some mobile missile spam and we have some Vipers. It's always Vipers. Anyway, they are looking to, no one's looking to kill. Maybe some engineers that are on the move. Not going to get much done at that point. So that's not going to get much done at all. A couple of AA down here has been spotted and just cleaned up by those Titans. Just wanted to get in behind and make sure there is nothing left. Okay. T3 is well up ratchet, and Percy's are the first thing coming off the conveyor belt because Percy's, yes. Percy's are good. Percy's are very good, and T3 air grid starting up for Earth-Dog. So he's got one T3 HQ there, and he's starting to build more T3 support air factories, and that's going to help his air build. To compare that to his opponent, who is running off just the 2 factories for now. So if he can get those 3, means he can start building more ASF and he can actually start winning the air game. See that there's more power going up down here from Templar, so maybe he's looking into the T3 air game. Nope, still just T2. Looks like he's starting to build on some Corsairs. Maybe he's considering a snipe, who knows. He's got T3 here, that's popping out some bricks, and a secondary T3 factory here, which can turn around and assist that for extra production. Titans are the name of the game for this factory. Nothing but Titans coming off the line, and they're going to have a bad time if they decide to run into some Percivals, because Percivals will just eat Titans all day, every day. No worries. Right, significant force building up here for Earth-Dog, and he's going to want to think about moving in and trying to reclaim this territory before it gets all hoovered up by these engineers, which are rather close to all this extra mass. Have a look at what is sitting over here. Just under 4,000 mass, maybe 3.5, ready to be claimed by all of that. Go in and get it back, although a nice tier 1 bomber comes along and decides, no engineers for you, which means no reclaim for you. But will it get another bomb off is the question. It does, just as the ASF turn up, and the bomb lands perfectly to kill the engineer and the mechs that were starting to build. So hey, no engineers for you in that corner, you can shoot. Right, we have, that is T2ID, isn't it? Yes. We have a tech launcher which has 4 missiles in it and 1 kill. So that's not really going for much, but the T2ID looks like it's just going to sit here and gradually plink away. Let's check its range. Well, it's got plenty of range. And it could just kill off all of this gradually one by one. There's no shielding, there's no defense whatsoever. Just easy. Right, we see here SMD has been thrown up by Templar, so he is concerned about nukes of some form. That will give him coverage of that much. Stop is the word from his teammate. He's got the mass to spare, and I guess it's better to have than not need. Although if you look at their opponents, there's no plans for a nuke launcher anywhere in all of this. There is a Batboy, and Batboy could cause some issues. Nothing over here. Honestly, he might be better off just building a nuke. Never mind the SMD. Build a nuke. Really throw some worry into your opponents. Alright, this band moves on up and they just obliterate a bunch of engineers. There was maybe 10 engines or so sitting around there. There sure as hell ain't anymore. Okay, and these units now pushing the mid, so they're tired of being scared of all this, I guess, and they're wanting to just push on and get it over with. They could have left the T2I to do its job gradually, slowly, and kill things off, but no, they've decided enough's enough. They're going to push in and kill everything off there. And I guess they can. It's a bunch of Titans, though they could have just let the mobile missile launchers take care of it. They could have just sat out of range and done that. Though having said that, he has managed to kill off pretty much all of that with the loss of 2 Titans. Not awful, I guess. And you've got the T2ID and the mobile missile launchers are still around too, if they decide to clean it up. Okay, having a check and some scouting going out from Ratchet. Maybe he's after something, although there we go, the tech launcher is going for something. Is it going for this mass extractor right up the front? And it looks like a pretty good bet that's what it's going to have a go at. But it's T3, so one missile won't do the trick. Would have hurt it, would have hurt it a hell of a lot, but it will not kill it. And that will actually give Ratchet a chance to fix it. Get up some TMD, but no. And there wasn't even a second missile launched, just the one. Sent out and nothing doing. So, who knows? It just isn't quite there for Templar. Didn't realize it was T3. Probably just having to go at it. No, he knows it's there. Yeah, it has been scouted. It hasn't worked. Right, drones going up for Ratchet. He wants some more build power. He's got gun, he's got T3. And now he wants to get that extra build power so he can do something. Okay, Luca back here has definitely got the T3 land now. Those Othams coming out and starting out on a chicken. So experimentals are coming for team number 1. We've got a Fat Boy over this side. We've got chicken over this side. We have plenty of units around on there. Let's just have a check for team number 2. What is going on? Well, there is a monkey, and that monkey is actually completed just as we spotted down here by Templar. So he is ahead in the experimental game, but is the lowest experimental. Good evening, Hesky. And yeah, the weakest experimental, the fastest to build. I think it's around 20,000 mass from memory. But it's still an experimental, and it is still tough to take down, and I don't think these guys really have quite enough on the ground to take care of it. They could spam up that Fat Boy quicker, that might help. Will help, I should say, but not greatly. Okay, there we go. TMD is up from Ratchet, so any more attack missiles sent this way are going to get nothing done. Speaking of getting nothing done, that artillery is Cybran. I forgot, it's about as accurate as a blind man throwing a dart in a crowded room trying to hit a bullseye. But it does take down TMD. Owl, tech launcher, does take down some of the T2 mixes. And there's another couple threatened up here. More techs are coming in. That's not what you need as Dog. You don't need your eco being sniped down. Okay, down here it is a gateway for Triple F. So he is just turtled up a little bit. He's got some bit of Ravager going on down here. He's got a few Percivals in the mix in that front. He's got a bunch of T2 PD and a few Ravagers in that mix. So just spot PD here and there. Good. Now the question is, do they have any idea there's a monkey on the way? Scouts have been sent out, but they're only T1 scouts. They're not getting very far. In fact, they're shot down right here, so that's not going to help them at all. It needs to be coming down this channel here, slightly to the other side, because that monkey, there's a coming. There's a monkey coming. Although, having said that, that is a scary amount of Percivals. This should deter any monkey from making a frontal assault. How many has it got? 15 Percivals. I think that's enough to take a monkey. So, Ratchet's fine. He'll be absolutely fine. And if they're listening, well, somebody's got Omni, because that monkey is showing up on the radar. If any scout flies over that, they'll know exactly what they're going for. But they are coming up this way, and they are going for... They want to go up here. But that Fat Boy is going up pretty quickly. Now, I think it's going to finish just in time to be extra useful. Indeed, the health is going up pretty good, and the Percivals are coming over, intercepting all these Titans, and also come out a bunch of Stingers from Dog. So they've been waiting for this push, and now it's going to be Percivals turning those Titans into scrap. Look at that, a couple of shots and see you later, Titans. Just nothing doing, and here comes the monkey, but the Fat Boy still not quite done. They want to turn and focus that monkey. They don't want to run away. They want to shoot that monkey, turn and shoot, kill it off, get the gunships on it, anything. Don't walk away, focus your fire, focus your fire. That Boy is done though, and the shells are now coming in as well. Percivals need to stop running and start pushing. They are one of the biggest threats to that monkey. The amount of alpha damage they can do, and they really need to. Luca is standing there with his commander, all up in their business. Any kind of overcharges, huge amounts of damage, down goes the monkey. So commander overcharges, Percivals, Fat Boy. That monkey is now a mass donation on the doorstep of Ratchet, question is, can he use it well enough? And also, we saw there was an experimental. Yes, there was. So Luca has finished off his chicken as well, and that is ready to go for a walk and be a menace. Down here, there's a final Percival which goes down thanks to an overcharge from Luca, and plenty of. Oh, it's a great push. If your plan was to donate mass, 48,000 mass now on the doorstep of Ratchet. 40,000, yep. Engineers are going to be in hogs heaven just reclaiming all of that, and here they all are just sitting there waiting to go. Get in there, get that mass, and get on building. So the Fat Boy finishing in a good time frame. Percival's maybe could have been utilized a bit better. They had walked out of range of the monkey. They needed to come back in and keep doing damage, but overall the losses were fully acceptable considering what they killed. Right, what's next, guys? A crab. That's what's next, a crab. That is what, 80-90% done. Not going to take long to finish. A Fat Boy over here with plenty of build power on it. That's going to go pretty darn quickly. And that is a Rambo com. Right. In comes the chicken. Chicken's going to try and find a target. It's got a Fat Boy to accompany it. So it's going to be chicken and Fat Boy versus crab and Fat Boy. Crab is done. It's ready to go and go for a walk. Fat Boy is going up very quickly. He will be done and ready to go. Once the done, we have plenty of air over this way. Youth Dog is standing kind of in the open, but I think he should generally be okay. I don't see enough air for a sniper anywhere. Chicken go walkies. Watches as a stray artillery shell flies across its face and basically ignores it. Right, Percivals are on the move on the right. They could just push down here, take out all this eco. There's nothing to stop them. In my opinion, that would be a good move. These are T3 mixers. They need to go. Right, Chicken has wandered into Ravager range and is getting peppered by those. Plenty of health still, but lost a good chunk of it before it even gets to fire back. And now it can fire back. In fact, it does, but it's also got Percival problems. So that's not going to last long should it stand still. All these Percivals are coming on in, trying to knock down the PD, but look at the health just disappear off that thing. And Fat Boy is moving up, trying to get some assistance on there. Throw some extra shells into that lot, but that chicken is basically dead. And he decides, I'm not going to run. I am going to walk into the middle of this mess, and maybe the lightning storm can take down some more. Fat Boy is now on the run, shelling things as they go. The lightning storm does turn up, kills off a few Percivals. That is not bad at all. I think the lightning storm actually was more effective than the chicken itself. That's kind of sad. Nonetheless, damage is damage. Fat Boy's still running away because it kind of has to. Doesn't want to get caught by this Rambo SACU, all these Percivals. Because Fat Boy at close range has a bad time. Alright, siege tanks were moved to intercept, but they are sitting out of range, and they're not going to have much fun either. Percival's coming over from Ratchet to help plug the gap. Unless the crab has been pinged there, Fat Boy is coming up behind it, so not looking great for Team 1 just right this instant. Just the single Fat Boy plus some ground troops to try and hold off all of this is not going to be enough. There's another Fat Boy coming up being built here. And that is an experimental done by Dog. I don't see it. Here it is. It's up here. It's a chicken up in the top. And that can now maybe sideswipe somewhere. Bring these units down. Start doing something with them. Oh my god. He has 20 Othams, 31 Ilshabas, 30, 40, 50 T1 units. Doing nothing. Get them. Use them, romp through here, absolutely destroy. Alright, Fat Boy is struggling to deal with all this at the moment, has some support coming on through. You see there's some Percys here, they're just holding the front line, keeping things away. They want to stop shooting at the, actually the Rambo SSU is just about dead. It's going to get met by the chicken up this way. That's going to have a bad time. But the crab is on the way and it is being preceded by all of these very distracting units. The question is, do they know the crab is there? Well, the answer is yeah, they bloody well do. They absolutely do. And to try and deal with that, I see a spearhead. but there is a counter Fatboy in the middle. So Fatboy, Percy's and Crab in the mid, and it's going to be a good counter. This poor Yathote is going to just take shell after shell if it keeps walking in a straight line. Needs to think about twisting and turning. There we go. Maybe dodge some of that fire, but come on. All this. Got to move. And there are problems now, so the Percivals are having to push up to slow things down, but that gives the Crab opportunities to have a go at them. And Crab is very good at damaging Percivals, but a Crab is also very good at taking damage from a Fatboy, especially if it turns its back. You don't want to do that. Unless you are committed to the run, don't turn your Crab away because it cannot shoot backwards, unlike pretty much every other experimental on a GC. Sorry, I take that back. The Crab and the GC were not made to retreat. They can only shoot forwards. And speaking of shooting forwards, this Fatboy has done wickedly bad things to the Yathote, and the Yathote is coming down here now, wants to turn in, and yeah, it's dead. Never mind. Too little too late, that's a dead Yathote. But having said that, the Crab isn't exactly healthy, and neither all these units. Plenty of fire coming from this Fatboy back here. Nope, pull your units back, keep them back, it's fine. Ah, there we go, finally the push on the left is coming in from Yurfdog, and that is a scary amount. Plenty of units and the Yathote. They will be able to romp over this 4x. There might be a bunch of Ravagers, but because of the number of units involved, if they can just not go in a straight line, it's going to cause a lot of shots to miss, and that will be ideal for making wasted shots. This is not a great time to power stall, my friend. You have units incoming, you don't want to power stall at this particular stage. What are you building? Well, you were building power, so you're fine now. Absolutely fine. Okay, first units have come on through, and now we have Othams, we have Ilshivers, we have the chicken, and this entire base is forward base is basically done. All the damage, all the units, and there's very little, if anything at all, to stop this massive push on the left. And it is huge from Yurfdog coming on through. Down here looks like the Crab is trying to come back up and get some work done, but there's a second Fatboy being completed by Ratchet right here. There's now 2 Fatboys worth of fire for it to wither, and it just simply cannot. This Fatboy is also going to have to drop back. He can't fight 2 versus 1, and the chicken can get a moving. What is there to stop it? The answer is, well, basically nothing. This force just simply walks straight on, and it is very little down here to slow them down. It's like single Rambo com. There's no point defense at all. Plenty of build power. They really want to be doing something to try and stop that. And hello to a bug. That would be very handy for some defense against all of this. No, don't walk that way. Send some units over that way. Leave the chicken walking straight down here. Feel like that's a mistrick. Up this way though, we see the Crab is going to have a very bad time very shortly, getting pounded by the Fatboy. Fire is going to go down. There's another Crab coming up though. This Crab is dead, and this Fatboy here as well is having to go at anything that comes in range. Unfortunately, what's currently in range is just engineers. There's some T3 stress coming over to take care of the Rambo comms. Those are toasty. Over this way we can see just exactly what's going on. Chicken turns up and says, "Hi Rambo com, I'm an experimental, what are you?" Dead. And speaking of going to die, it is Triple F. He's way too close to the action here. Way too close, and he's got a chicken bearing down on him. He's got T3 bearing down on him, and he's going to have a really, really bad time. If we could focus the commander down right now and kill him in half a heartbeat, needs to, before the Soul Ripper finishes things off. Yep, that is Triple F out of the game due to a massive push down on the left, but at the same time there's a huge push coming up on the right. Fatboy has been caught out by, I think, both Percivals and the Fatboy down here. There's still a couple left, and that's a nuke. It's built, but it's not loaded. And we see some Rambo SACUs. They paused because they were handed over control. Not the ideal spot to happen, especially here, and look at that. That has actually given it a chance. All these Percivals here stopped, although Ratchet now has problems. He's got a single Fatboy trying to hold off, what, about 20? 15? 12. My estimations are of 12 Percivals still. That's 12 Percivals at very, very close range. He's going to have some problems on there. Over this way though, the bug has done as the bug does, but this is all basically wreckage. Look at that. The base is pretty much demolished. Maybe want to finish off that there. That's a Sport ACU, but over this side it is Ratchet trying to do some things. Strap bombs overhead helping out, and the Percivals are actually taking a lot of damage. I don't think the Percivals are going to manage to get the kill, but the Crab, the extra fat boy coming in here, those most certainly should be able to kill off Ratchet stuck in a space. He needs to try and evac, but there's nothing for him. Luca standing out in the open. He wants to get his comm away from there. That's not a good place to stand. The Crab could turn on you and kill you in half a heartbeat. Get away. Get away. And Ratchet. Well, he's not getting away from this. Like, zero chance. Fatboy and Omega, no dice for you. Didn't quite kill off the air HQ. I thought that might have been a good plant. Oh, we haven't touched the civvy on that side. Civilians are going from this side though, so they definitely had to go. You see UFDogs right up the back here, and there goes Ratchet. Not too surprising, he was up against Fatboy, Crab, and now a satellite just to join in on the fun. Ye gods. It's just horrible. It's just absolutely horrible, and along comes the bug. Dear idea. Now the problem with the Ratchet drone, try sending the kennel drones to reclaim, is there was some anti-air. A couple of things floating around. Of course, the Fatboy and the Megalith both have a bit of anti-air on them as well. I don't think that would have got much done. But here we go. This is now Crab, Fatboy, Bug and Satellite all raining down pain and destruction upon Team 1. And yes, there is a chicken here that is standing kind of still. It wants to get a move on, at least keep you walking towards perhaps. But that bug is, well, it's actually pretty heavily damaged, but there's nothing left else to shoot at it. Scouts won't do anything. There is some AA, static AA on the ground over here. The chicken was walking, but it has now died. It will slow the advance. I don't really want to walk into that, but still, it is looking terrible for team number 1 at this stage. They had time to build a transport if they realized what was coming on in, but yeah. We also could have evacuated a lot earlier. How close are the nukes? Well, 75%, so that is where Team 1's massive gone. They had both built a nuke. There was one launcher down here, and there was another launcher built up here, so they were trying to go for the nuke launch. The problem is, there's two anti-nukes in that, so Templar was chided by his teammate for building an anti-nuke, but it would have been useful had the game carried on. Question is, will it go off at this stage? At this rate it won't. There's too much pressure coming on in. We can see the there. Yield is down. That's going to explode, kill a whole lot of build power. Reclaim it. It's going to kill everything. Absolutely everything. So there's a little known trick. Another nuke over here. They had 3 nukes. It really went for the nuke game. There's a little trick with power generators. If you are reclaiming them, actively reclaiming, like you have engineers with a reclaim on them, at the moment they die, they don't explode. Oh, I see those lightning tanks take chunks of health off that though. Don't want to get too close, but too close it is. And that there is a Control K from Luca. He has lost his base. He's got nothing left. He just gives up and hands it all over to UFDogs. Com, who is also trying to run away. It's not going to get that nuke launched. What a shame. They had 3. Yep, they don't explode. Quite handy. And UFDog, he Control K's out as well. Had a band of broadswords coming along, and wowza. What a fun little ladder game.